Hey everyone, it's Julie at the Panaluna site giving you a heads up for our 4th and 5th grade kids this Sunday, September 3rd. Thank you first off for serving on a holiday weekend. You are amazing and awesome that you would take time to connect with kids and build relationship with them this weekend. We appreciate you a lot. Our theme this month for September is friendship, and we have this kind of lunchroom, cafeteria, graphic make space at the table. So I'm talking about friendship, and we're defining that as using your words and actions to show others you care. It's not just saying we do, but saying and acting on how we feel about our friends. This week's Bible story is mostly from the book of 1 Samuel chapter 20, and this shares the story of David and Jonathan, who are great friends, and how they look out for each other and care for each other, and even sacrifice some things for each other in their friendship. Our key question for today is, what makes someone a good friend? So this is the first week of this theme, so we are getting just the big picture idea. If you haven't done the 4th through 5th grade format yet, if you didn't serve this summer, welcome. I'm going to be putting a video up soon giving you just an overview of what this looks like, but for today, I'm just going to go through what it is for today. So you have just for fun as your first thing, and it is a would you rather question. Would you rather be friends with a magician or a giant, and why? There's also another one, what famous person would you like to have as a friend, and why? So just getting them thinking about that idea of friendship. This is in the first 10 minutes as kids are coming in. It's not a formal sit down, everyone together. This is just you walking around and talking to kids. That's something that you could talk about with them. The next one is something that only the 4th and 5th grade kids will do together before their Bible story. It's called Get Your Head in the Game, and it uses this really fun foam sword. You're going to be knighting different kids in your group. So one kid, it explains it pretty well in the lesson. I'll give you just a quick idea. One kid holds the sword in the middle of the circle, and they have to say their name and someone else's name to start the game. So I would say Julie, Josh, and so then Josh would have to say Josh, Brenda, and if I, as the person who holds the sword, I have to knight them, so like touching each shoulder with the sword. I have to knight them before they finish saying the other person's name. Okay, so I'm going to let you read it in the lesson, and if you have questions, ask us about it. They give you some examples, and if the kid doesn't get it in time, they swap out. I think it'll be really fun. If they catch on to it really quickly and nobody's swapping out, you could have them make up a fake name, which might be harder to keep track of. So there's a couple different variations on that, but you want to let them know. And the guys in today's Bible stories have pretty common names. One is the son of a king, and the other is the warrior for the king. And they're unlikely friends, but they share a great friendship, and that's what we're going to hear about today. So then you're going to take your group along with the 1st through 3rd grade group, which is in the same room, but you're going to come together in the same area and watch your Bible story on the DVD and go through your memory verse, which is a friend loves at all times. They are there to help when trouble comes. And that's in Proverbs 17:17. So you're going to go through that together and then break back up into your groups. The 1st through 3rd grade kids have totally different things to do than the 4th and 5th grade kids. So you're going to take your 4th and 5th grade kids back to your area, and you are going to do this one called Bible Story Extension. You're going to need Bibles, one for every 2 or 3 kids. Those are available right in the room. You're going to need some index cards and pencils, which are available right on the table. So you're going to give each group, so have them make at least 3 groups, maybe more than 3, and you're going to assign each group number 1, 2, or 3. The kids who are in group number 1, they're going to read 1 Samuel 18. The kids who are assigned number 2, they're going to read 1 Samuel 19, and group 3 is going to read 1 Samuel 20. And what you want to do, and I would tell them this before I even give them the Bibles or anything, I would say, what you're going to do is you're going to read, and I want you to take a guess right now before you even open your Bible. How many times do you think in your section, in your chapter, it says, Jonathan loved David as himself? Just take a guess. And then as they read it as a group, there we go, as they read it as a group, they can keep tally and find that out for themselves. And then after they're done reading, you want to ask them, why do you think the Bible repeats that phrase so often? And have you ever felt that way about someone else, one of your friends, or has one of your friends felt that way about you, or you love that person just as much as you love yourself? If they can, hopefully they can think of a friend like that. Maybe it's a cousin or somebody, but you want to ask them to prove it and write down on their card, how do they know a friend loves them that way? And be prepared to share it. And then as you collect them, sort them into piles. So one would be through words, one would be through actions, and another would be both of those things combined. And you want to do that to remind the kids that it takes both words and actions to prove our love, to prove our friendship to someone else. So that's a really cool way to review the Bible story and make that connection to our key question of what makes someone a good friend. That will probably be the bulk of your time, and that's okay because it's really important. The next one, this is going to be in here every week, just called discussion questions. You have 6 or 7, maybe 5 or 6, I don't know, questions here. Don't do all the questions. And what I would encourage you to do, and I think it's even listed in this description above, set a timer for like 3 to 5 minutes and tell the kids, okay, for the next 5 minutes, I have a couple questions I want to ask you, and we're going to do our best to answer them. Don't ask them every question, pick 1 or 2. And so then they know they're not locked into, oh, we're going to be talking for 20 minutes, it's going to take forever, it's going to be so boring. No, just think about these ideas for a few minutes with me, and let's answer them together. And then hold yourself to it. When the time is done, maybe even set a timer on your phone. When it's done, it's done. And you're going to wrap it up and move on to your next thing, which is verses to take with you. You're going to read your memory verse, and you have a game to play with a ball. They're going to make a circle, and I got to remember this one. That's right. They're going to pass the ball to each other, and they have to name a time when a friend needs another friend to show love to them. So in other ways, what kind of troubles would come up in a friend where they would need another friend to help them? And challenge them that as they are passing the ball, and try and keep it kind of quick, as they're passing it, to try not to repeat one that's already been said. Another way that you could make it even more interesting, so that after they've listed, maybe they've run out of ideas of troubles that come up, then they could start saying, what's one way we can love people when they're in trouble? So, and there's a couple different balls if you want to make it harder too, but just keep that one for fun. And then your last one is called Making It Personal with Prayer. You're going to have the kids come back together, sitting down, and have them think of some dynamic duos and what makes those people such great friends, and who can they be that kind of friend to this week. So have them think of a specific person that they can be a great friend to this week, and have them say that person's name, think the person, and say their name out loud. They can even say it in the prayer that you have here. You can read it from the lesson, or you can say your own version of this prayer. We want to just encourage the kids to be great friends, to love at all times, to use their words and actions to show others that we care. When families come in to pick up their kids, you want to just give them that big idea for the day. Say, hey, we talked about what it means to be a great friend, and here's your parent cue. You want to give them this, and even point out, you can say this is week 1. So this will tell you where we looked, or what Bible story we looked at, and on the back are some ways that you can that you can talk to your child about these ideas. So not a 10-minute conversation, 1 or 2 minutes with each family, but just cueing them in so that when they get in the car and they say, hey buddy, what'd you learn about in church? And the kid says, God, nothing. Okay, then they can say, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you learned about being a good friend. What did you do? And so it gives the parent a little bit of information and ways to engage their child with those ideas too. So I think it's going to be a great class. Might be a little low attendance for the holiday weekend, but that just means we get to know our kids even better. So thanks again for serving. Let Selena or I know if you have any questions as you're preparing, and we'd we'd love to talk with you. So see you Sunday.